Common Sense Media activated.
Hey everyone, this is Edge. Just want to take a minute to say thank you all for your love and your support. We couldn't do this without you. What you're getting ready to listen to is the third and final installment of our epic crossover between Wave of the Future, Dad Mode, and our new sports show 3&E, formerly The Two-Way, hosted by Trey M. and myself. We had a lot of fun doing this, and we hope to continue bringing you more content just like this. Let's get into it.
Oh.
Live for 2024. It is the moment you've all been waiting for. Part 2 of the epic crossover. It's a chasm thing, baby. We got the return of Wave of the Future. After a month-long hiatus for the holidays, baby, we got Mr.
Trey M.
We got Mr.
Car.
And for you parental folks out there, we got
Rich.
from Dad Mode. And introducing a new wave. For those of you who like a little sports and entertainment, we got
The Two-Way.
Yes. It's gonna be a good time for all of you fine individuals. But before we get into the show, I just want to say thank you. We want to say
Thank you.
we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And without further ado, we're gonna get into it. So buckle up. Pay attention. Pour yourself a drink. Let's go.
So let's shift a little bit to the game. Like that game. Giannis versus Wemby.
How was it? How was that?
It was it was probably one of the best games I've seen this year.
Being a witness.
Couldn't look away, like one of those. Like
Yeah,
every
I
play?
didn't have to go to. I didn't. If I had to go to the bathroom, I may have peed myself just to watch this game. I was in tune to this game because, man, this was the only thing missing was an overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And between the generational talents of Wemby and Giannis, it was what I'm glad we paid for.
It's the future of basketball.
Yeah, and it was good. It was really good. You got to see it, and at least for me, I got to see it firsthand. That was awesome.
The present versus the future.
Yeah, Wemby didn't play. We say Wemby. Victor Wembanyama, first round, first pick, draft pick for one San Antonio Spurs, played against NBA champion and MVP, multiple,
And defensive
MVP.
player of the year.
yes, that as well. Giannis, as my daughter calls him. Sorry. Giannis, what, Antetokounmpo?
Trust me, I still can't say it.
Antetokounmpo. God, I can't say
Yep,
it.
you can't say it, bro.
Giannis
Don't even try.
I would have said it perfectly fine if there was no microphone. Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo. Good Lord. That guy,
Yeah.
number 34 on the Bucks.
Yeah,
The Greek freak.
yeah, that's what we call him.
Antetokounmpo. Kumpo. I got to go poop, though.
There you go. Mark.
We're talking one fantastic talent versus another.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis had great things, nice things to say about Wemby.
Oh yeah,
Well, it's good that somebody seasoned can see the potential in somebody so new, right?
Yeah,
that's gotta
absolutely.
Be good. I mean, that press conference must have been probably elation from both sides. Like, I finally got to hit this dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I finally
Pause.
not like that, but like, you know what I mean?
Hello.
Like, I finally got to go up against this person who is
where
you know,
all talk was. Yeah,
yeah, it's just the champion. Like, I got to go up against one of the champions and like see what's going on.
yeah. It's just crazy because just seeing the back and forthness, man. Like
Yeah.
just the block, to the 3.
So he was actually like in it, like trying. And
Yeah.
stuff
And you know what's crazy? Yeah, I know the Spurs are not that great right now.
At the moment.
Yeah.
But
you
you see the moments, right?
They played great against superior talent.
The thing that I kind of take away from this game, just not the whole game, but especially like you said, the press conference afterwards. I think that when you look at where Giannis was when he was 20 years old. The dude is averaging like 6 points, 5 rebounds a game. He was
not thought to be the guy.
exactly, and so Giannis playing against this guy, knowing where he was compared to where he is, what the growth can be like. That's what I took out of that press conference. He said, "Man, I've never seen anything like him. He's got to stay healthy, but like basically the sky's the limit for this dude."
Yeah, so he saw shades of his youth and like
Not even he saw
more.
exactly. Exactly.
With big dudes like that, though, they got to stay healthy. Though.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But Wemby's, the way he moves, the way he operates on the floor, off the floor. I've seen some videos, the way like he stretches, his flexibility. I don't think that's going to be an issue. And that's what I like about what the Spurs are doing. People are mad because he's playing 20. He played 26 minutes. He had
Was it 26?
He had 20. He played
Yeah,
26
he's less
minutes.
than 28 a game.
I
He
felt
had
like
27 points, 9 rebounds, 5
Damn.
blocks, and shot 55% from the field in 26 minutes.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a good what the Spurs are trying to do is they're trying to learn his body.
Yeah.
How are you going to come back off
Build
of
around
this?
Dude, this is an amazing stat. You read that. He literally played 2 quarters.
Yeah, like a bucket.
Yeah.
A bucket a
Compared
minute,
to
like,
Giannis played, he dropped 44, but he played 40 minutes, 39 minutes and like 45.
If he would have played 4 quarters,
he would have went toe to Giannis. I think he would have dropped 38, 7
Probably not.
blocks.
He
think he would have.
probably-
I think if he kept shooting at that click. I was watching NBA
Pop wasn't
today.
gonna let him.
Oh no, he was not. He's coming off of a minutes restriction. There's no way.
Yep.
And even before the minutes restriction, they didn't have him playing that type of minutes. But I was watching NBA today, and it was an interesting stat. They said minute for minute,
he was in it.
he was going toe to toe for Giannis. If you look at the points, rebounds, and things like that he was getting minute for minute, he was right there. And that's
somebody who's already found their flow in their game and their team. And this is a guy who's like still.
that's the scary part is I don't think he's found it yet.
Oh no, I'm talking about Giannis.
Yeah,
Like,
Giannis. That's the dude who. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
exactly.
But like compared to this new guy who's just like learning the whole thing and doing that by himself without the team really kind of coming in. Like that's something special.
You're absolutely right because I don't think the Spurs know how to play with him yet.
Yeah. I don't even
They
think
don't call very many plays for him.
They don't, and they don't look for him in
Yeah.
certain situations that as a point guard that you would look for him on the trail. There's a lot of things that you can say there, but for that to be the game that you went to, man, I am so excited and happy for you guys because that was a game, and it just as a basketball had both TNT games. And
yeah. And I was telling you guys this, I was like, I will be pissed off if this was a blowout. Like, man, I would hate that because I've been in a lot of games. I've been blowouts and it's like,
you leave before the
Yeah.
just to get your money's worth, just enough to get your money's worth.
and I'm glad that it turned out the way it did. Like, I'm glad that. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. Even if I went there just for a blowout, it is what it is. But at that moment,
It's nice though that you get to experience all that because I've been to games where let's go. Like they're eating their lunch right now. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Especially today or this year for the Spurs, I should say. But it was good to see. It was good to see that type of effort from the young team in the Spurs. It was good to see that type of clash of stars. That's what the NBA needs.
Yeah.
I think that every time that those two players play each other, it should be on some type of nationally televised game.
Yeah, because they're just gonna learn.
dang.
Yeah, they're just gonna learn from each other and then like really feed off that rivalry.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think that's what you don't see enough of in
It's
today's NBA.
It's an emerging rivalry.
They're
I was gonna say,
Going at
is
each
it
other.
truly a rivalry?
no, it's not a rivalry, but you go at each other. It's
Okay.
you're
International
competitive.
talents.
What's that? Is it Goodbird? I'm a dude. She's a dude. We're a dude. We're
Okay,
all
Gilbert.
like you're a dude and I'm a dude. So we're like, okay, let's see what you got. It's a competitive spirit that you have.
Yeah, it's healthy. It's not anything made out of spite or
No,
anything.
It's just like, that's the end of that game, man. With that block, I can just imagine how hyped that arena was.
So I
when he got
will
that
say
block at
this.
the end of the
I
game.
will show y'all videos after this if y'all, are here. But yeah, anyway, maybe I'll post it on the chat or through Instagram or my experiences. But
Good spot.
yeah, I was able to record literally almost everything. And so yeah, I'll be able to cherish this for the rest of my life.
We won't talk about that.
Nah, that's just empty.
They'll come for us.
You can't record this. Oh yeah.
Okay, so
brought to you by the
I
National
got to
Basketball.
get your thoughts on something. Not to abruptly change gears, but your boy, former Super Bowl champion, Mr. Wilson.
Oh man.
Fill me in on this situation.
So he got traded, was it last year, from the Seattle Seahawks to the Denver Broncos for a gobble of compensation.
So he's a Bronco for the money.
So he got signed by the Broncos.
the trade and sign kind of deal.
Yeah. And so I feel bad for this guy. And I only say that because I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan.
Mm-hmm.
And when it happened, I felt for the brother because
He's been with that team for a long time.
They drafted
bingo.
him. What was it, second round, third round?
Bingo. All the things you guys
Was
said.
it 8 seasons or 9?
10.
10.
Yeah, it was 10.
I thought it was 8 or 9.
2 Super Bowls, won one,
Yeah.
threw a pick, blah, blah, blah. We all know the story. And just for him to go to a team like the Denver Broncos and didn't have a good year last year. Understood, new system, all that stuff. And then this year, he's having a great year.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't say like his past Seattle years, but he's having a great year. And then, of course, the unfortunate thing is that they mentioned, at least from what reports were saying, that in his contract, he has a clause to where if he gets injured if he gets injured to where he cannot pass a physical in the March of 2024, the team is going to cut him, or they will bench him.
So they really got him on thin ice right now.
And that's the thing that I have an issue with. It's like, especially in the situation that they were in at that moment that they mentioned that to him. It's like, man, you're doing great for us.
But
Yeah.
It's about the money. It became less about the play and more about the money. This is
When
my
they're in
issue with that.
contention.
My issue with that is commitment. Okay, so like you said, when they traded from last year. They gave up a haul.
Two firsts, maybe a second, and maybe a third, and like 3 players.
Yeah, they gave up a haul to get Russell Wilson.
For one
and
player.
Then not only do you get him off his current contract, then they signed him to a 7-year one of the richest at the time. I think it was the richest
Yeah.
contract
you know how that
in
goes.
history. Every year it becomes a new richest, highest paid quarterback. So they made a commitment to him for 7 years, which to me, as a sports guy, speaks, okay, we understand that this is going to be a process. Denver, you may not know this, but Denver, they had, Peyton Manning in the
wait, that's where he went to go suffer.
yeah, but he
He
won
won
a
a chip.
Super
He
Bowl.
won a
He
chip.
won a
He did.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They were contenders with him. So they have like a sort of history of taking those quarterbacks at I think you're on your last leg, throw them out. No,
They get
under. I don't think John Elway is the general manager anymore, but still they get under that system and they have a renaissance to say.
Yeah.
They're
And-
known to revive the quarterbacks who are presumed past their prime.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So when you sign a quarterback to a 7-year, $300 million deal or whatever it was,
Only to have that clause.
exactly, and then to implement
They
that
signed that clause.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
and to implement it in the time that if they would have did something like that last year,
Yeah.
I know it might not have been the time in the contract. There's timings in contracts
Yeah.
and things like that, but when he was playing like boo boo.
Yeah. It would have been understandable.
It would have been a little bit more understandable. He's played. They beat the Chiefs for the first time in I don't know how long.
4 years.
Thanks to him, he has a good touchdown interception ratio. His completion percentage.
He was
isn't
almost like the
horrible.
old Rush.
Almost exactly. And then they did this to
Yeah.
cut to save some money.
Almost.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem I have is you're not willing to take the risk that you took.
Yeah, exactly.
So
The commitment that you put yourself into.
yeah, so why won't you just? I mean, even if they don't make the playoffs, you sign this cat for 7 more years.
with an asterisk.
Like, come on now, like it's just. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be when you don't just cut, or at least you don't talk
Bench.
to. Yeah, you don't talk to this particular player about a contract that they have in place when it comes to any time frame. Like you just go with the risk. Like keep the risk going. You never know. I mean, they were playing right, especially when you're beating the Chiefs. And when the report came out after the Chiefs won, and it's like, oh man, you're actually doing pretty good. We certainly don't want you to win this.
That's my thing. So apparently there's a report that after they beat the Chiefs, they came out to him and they said, hey, if we want you to take a pay cut, we want to restructure your contract. And if you don't, then we're going to bench you. And by benching you, it's going to trigger this clause in the contract, XYZ.
And it's crazy, a lot of analogies came out, right? Analogies meaning like from other personalities. Like, what if your job, Carr, said to you, I want you to take away something. And I want you to take away something that you earned.
Yeah, let's take those extra 5 days of PTO that you earned. Let's take those away.
Yeah. And so what do you, what do you expect them, what do you expect as an individual? You going to just say,
Yeah, the mental game changes.
Yeah.
Like your performance changes. Like you're gonna work for what you're paid for.
And so when it comes to like for me, I'm not gonna I'm not you're not going to take away or ask me to take away. I'm gonna live to my contract.
Yeah, I signed this. You signed this. This is an agreement that we had.
Yeah, not everybody works off that underdog spirit of getting like geared up to prove themselves. Like this guy's seasoned. Like he's got a ring.
Not everybody's willing to take a pay cut just to win.
Yeah.
So, especially once you've already won. It's one thing that if you've never won anything, you get those guys at the end of their career. Yeah. The Gary Paytons, and you know, they go to Miami to win a ring for the vet minimum. Like Russ
They just say that. They just want to say, I won one.
Yeah, but he's already done that. He's already been a reputable cornerstone of a franchise. He knows what he's doing. You don't just in the middle of the season. That's my thing. You don't just do that in the middle of the season.
That's my kick.
That's my thing. If you want to have those conversations in the off season, like, hey, dude, we really need to restructure your contract. If we don't get a restructure between now and April, we may have to release you. You have those kind of talks. So behind the scenes and after the season.
So is he like in some sort of NDA agreement where he can't speak on what's happening?
Oh no, he talked.
Oh yeah, he talked.
What
about
did he say? What did he say?
And he said basically he was like, I want to be here. I want to win. I came here with the anticipation of it not being immediate, but being eventual. That we were going to bring a Super Bowl to Denver. And it's unfortunate that it's going this way, but I'm ready for whatever's next. Meaning, like when y'all cut me, like whoever. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, well, he's a glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah, well, that's just Russell. Yeah. And so, it's funny, and this is the last thing I'll mention about it. What if he got hurt? No, I'm sorry. Backtrack. What if the person that he played, or that started, so the kid's name's Jarrett Stidham, he goes out game 1, breaks an ankle. You got to bring Russell in. What do you do if you're Russell? I ain't coming back. Kick rocks on that.
Yeah, that ties back to what he was saying, that mental aspect
game.
Of it.
You check out. Are you checked out because they checked you out?
Or? Yeah. I mean, I didn't check myself out. And so I feel as if he got did wrong. And I honestly think he got did wrong by Seattle. And the only reason why I say that is because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have got to the 2 championships. That's a hard take. I ain't gonna lie. Being a Seahawk fan, you put a quarterback in that system, they ain't doing nothing. I mean, that's just how I feel.
The improvisation that Russ did he made plays happen out of nothing a lot of times.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and sometimes you don't want to pay people, but it's the respectable things to do. It's like, okay, you may be a little bit of not what you were when we were paying you your rookie contract, but you led us to 2 Super Bowls. You are the franchise. You're worth a little bit more. And this is okay. I'm going to bring this around just a little bit. This is a thing that I like with like the Timmy Duncans of the world. The Timmy Duncans of the world, you get to that point where it's like, okay, well, we should pay you. Tim Duncan comes through and is like, nah, I want to win.
Yeah.
Let me take slightly less.
That's the underdog mentality.
And make sure that, Tony's paid and Manu's paid. And
we have our people
and we have
fill in.
People that we can bring in. We can go pay a Boris Diaw to come here and facilitate.
Or a Patrick Mills.
There's a difference in that, but there also is a thing. Hey, look, dude, I earned a contract.
Yeah.
I've been with Seattle for 6 or 7 years, balling for not nickels and pennies, but not the 250 million, 50 millions a year that some other guys are balling for.
Yeah, it's like no JJ Watt contract or anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like
I think he should have got paid from Seattle.
JJ Watt.
I think Denver should have honored their contract.
Yeah.
Or at least had those conversations, like I said, after the season. Let him finish out a season in which he was not an MVP frontrunner, but he was not the worst quarterback in the league like he was last year.
Yeah, he's still a Hall of Famer. I'm going to put that out there.
Easy.
But everybody's talking about, he ain't going to be. Nah, I mean, he already did his deed. It may not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's going to be in there.
You never know. He could have, like I said, he could put on his B-less and really get it going.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, go with that second win. I mean, he's 35, so yeah. What else is on docket, bro?
So
They playing basketball.
we're gonna come back to that that second game on TNT tonight. The Spurs plays the Bucks just a little bit, not specifically the game, but some things surrounding the team, right? So
The arena is surrounding them.
that is, yeah, and Steph Curry hitting it from the tunnel.
Oh, damn.
So Draymond Green is
Currently in trouble.
He is currently in trouble, and apparently, from reports starting yesterday, he is working his way back.
When is he coming back?
It's a process. That's a thing about the Draymond Green thing. It was an indefinite suspension.
Yeah, that's right.
It was like so flagrant. Like, who do you fight?
So he
Choking people out. Yeah. He choked out Rudy Gobert, and he has a history of having light altercations with fellow NBAers.
to say the least.
So, when did he step on one DeMontis Sabonis?
This was the
year's
first
playoffs.
round. First round of last year's playoffs.
Last year?
Yeah.
So, there's that.
Like I said, all this happened in a calendar year.
There was a
A punch.
I was going to word that differently.
Hadouken.
There's been a lot, so I got you here. So you
Go
can go
for it.
all the
Go
way
for
back
it.
to 16. They had the in the finals. He had an altercation where LeBron kind of stepped over him. He went to kick him in the nuts, kind of. He had another altercation
Very South
where
Park.
he did the same thing to Steve Adams of OKC. He had a suspension. He's allowed, so he's been suspended for recording. When you get to a certain level, it's 16 technical fouls in the NBA. You get suspended a game.
Yeah.
After that, it's every game. Then it goes up. So
Very
that suspension.
very demonstrative. Yeah.
Exactly. He's demonstrative. And then this season, there was an incident where Klay Thompson and a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves got into an altercation. Rudy Gobert kind of came in and, protecting his teammate. So Draymond came in and like straight put Rudy Gobert in a headlock. Like it was a straight headlock. Like
I almost said an RKO at first.
it was a chokehold, Stone Cold Stunner, whatever you want to call it. And he put him. It wasn't a stunner.
Yeah.
But he put him in the hold, man, and he had him going. And Rudy at the time was like, "Hey, man, it was extra, but I hope he's okay, like as a person." So then a couple of weeks later, there was a thing with Yusuf Nurkic where he plays for the Phoenix Suns. He says he was trying to sell a foul call. I look at there was no foul, and he like really just spun around and smacked him in the side of the head for no reason.
You're really just doing stuff.
Yeah, so eventually the NBA is like, okay, dude, you've got a track record.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with Draymond is the history of his actions. He says he was trying to sell a foul.
There was no foul.
Yeah, putting hands on a person is another thing, though.
He spun. It was like the Von Erichs. Texas Tornado, spin. Clocked him. I mean, clearly clocked him. And set Yusuf, right? Nurkic to the ground. I think without the history he's had, it's okay. But with the history he's had,
It's not okay.
no, not so much.
There's a pattern to things. I don't care what you do in life, what kind of person you are. The person that you are, or the person you try to be, I should say, the person that you are speaks through your actions.
Yeah.
And that's where the NBA is. It's like, okay, you want to say the right things, you want to be a quote unquote leader, but your actions speak otherwise. There's obviously some underlying
like issue. And yeah, the whole thing is receipts are on film.
Yeah.
All his whole career, like all that stuff. That's why refs like will take the extra mile just to make sure he's not trying to sell
Everything
a foul.
he's done, even from him punching Jordan Poole last season, that's on film. That is something that was recorded and released. TMZ did it. It wasn't a game, but it was recorded and released. So there's a constant timeline of altercations, and it's just like when you're in school. You know, you get in one fight,
You get a record.
you know,
You get a rap.
well, we'll suspend you for a day. You get in another fight, you might get suspended a little longer. Okay, you're in your third fight, you're gonna go to alternative or you're expelled. The disciplinary actions increase or they become more
maybe
severe.
Yeah, maybe the disciplinary actions weren't enough for him to stop at this point, and this whole threat of an indefinite suspension was the only thing to kind of get him to open his eyes.
I hope so.
So I have something. I know you guys talked about this on WFS so many months ago. The Ja Morant thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
You were a guest on that one.
yeah, that's right. So
His life outside of the game was the problem, though.
yeah, so he got 25 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think when it comes to Draymond, should he have gotten so he gets something longer because a lot of his actions come on the court?
It's years worth, don't you think?
That's not what's going to happen. He's probably going to miss a total of 20 games.
Shouldn't he miss longer?
There's a thing, and this is just my personal opinion. When you play for the league, it's one thing to be the bully on the court and to be the
Like the aggressor.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's a word for it that I can't think of, unfortunately, right now. But, you know, the Dennis Rodmans, the people that are going to throw elbows and push people down, and the enforcers. That's the word I'm looking for. And that's what Draymond kind of comes into with Ja Morant.
It's his life.
It's a different avenue because you're not being an enforcer on the court. You're not being physical on the court. You're being demonstrative off the court.
You're on social media.
You're getting into alleged altercations with kids at basketball courts. You're flashing guns in Instagram photos. You're giving a perception to the league that the league doesn't want. It's a corporate
Draymond
entity.
is like
He's only rowdy like in the game. Like, what
in
can
the
you say?
game.
What
Like,
can you say?
He's 17. It's fine.
no, I mean it ain't just that though. I'm just saying like
I'm being funny.
when it comes to Draymond, he is doing a lot of stuff in the game where teams are paying these players to play the game, and he's out there just like
hurting some people or possibly hurting some people.
You know, and
I can see that, but I think of it like it's not quite a Rasheed Wallace situation going back to like 2004 or the early 2000s. Rasheed
think
Wallace.
about the Malice at the Palace.
But you think about, well, that's a totally different situation.
Well, I mean, it happened in the game, though.
It did, but it happened with
And how long
people
did it-
in the crowd.
Well-
and people were suspended for, the remainder of the season. But that's like you're fighting. You're not fighting athletes. You're fighting me. Like,
Yeah.
some little dude who's a little too drunk off a beer at a basketball game.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up. I mean, I know
that's a good point to make. But that there's a difference in that, and I think the difference with Draymond Green is off the court. You never heard anything bad about Draymond.
What can you say
Green.
about his personal life other than what you
He's
see on TV?
a father.
Yeah.
His kids are in his press conference. He's married. You never hear anything outside of
he's a dude.
basketball related to him. With Ja Morant, it's
everything
outside
else.
basketball where his problems are stemming from. And I think the league as a whole is like, hey, dude, that's not how we want to be represented.
In either side, don't you think?
In either side, but there's a difference between having a physical game,
or being
and having
having a bad cultural influence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So similar, same, but different. You know, like
So
there's
you-
different sides of this coin.
So you get suspended more outside the court.
It's the corporate thing. You're going to get in more trouble for. It's like if you were working for a corporation and you went out to a bar in the corporate logo and you were
Just
acting wild compared to if you're at work and you have an outburst, and you every once in a while you have an outburst at work compared to if you make the entire organization look bad.
Yeah, because I mean
That's how the NBA, I think, mediated that.
yeah, because a shady org would like bank on him, like make the footage like known, but I guess they don't want that image, you know.
That's true. Huh?
Draymond does things on the court, and I think that really is the difference. It's on the court, and when you're on the court and you have those competitive juices flowing, you're gonna do stupid stuff to get a competitive edge. And Draymond he doesn't think before he acts on the court, but he thinks before he acts off the court most of the time. You don't, like I said, you never see Draymond getting in bar fights.
Yeah,
I think if it really stemmed to that, he'd be gone.
it'd be a wrap. But yeah, maybe there was a coach in his life that told him, "Hey, play this up. Like this is your thing. This is pro wrestling.
This is your niche. You're
yeah.
the enforcer. I need you to go out there and throw an elbow every once in a while. I need you to play a little dirty. It's a part of the game."
Yeah, because it's not just him. It's like, you know,
He takes it to an extreme that I don't think we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's not
but I
fair,
liken Draymond Green to Ron Artest minus Malice in the Palace. Because, again, that was a situation all into itself.
A long time ago.
04. Yeah. Is
I
that
remember
03,
watching
04?
that.
No, it was.
It was
03 or
yeah,
04?
it was 04.
No,
Yeah, it was 04.
2000s.
Yeah,
it was
sure,
04.
2003, 2004. Yeah. Yeah, that
You
was.
sure about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Watch the Netflix special. No, I'm sorry.
I thought it was 2006.
No, because that was before. That was before that was right before the Pistons run and everything. That's what kind of took the Pacers out of that championship pace that they were going through at the end of Reggie Miller's career, was about for the Palace. Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, Steven Jackson before he came to after he was with the Spurs. I think he went to them after he won the 03 title with us. But again, I was young. I was like 11.
We talked about all things basketball for a while here. Draymond Green and his suspension. He's gearing up to come back. What are your thoughts on that? After his long suspension.
I think he needs to prove himself before he comes back. Therapy, whatever.
So not prove himself from a standpoint
from a
of
stats point.
I gotta play ball.
I need to
like,
see some
still
improvement. I mean, I guess not improvement, but I need to see some kind of mental health kind of
Improvement. That's the thing.
Like I can't bring him, at least from a team's organizational standpoint, I can't just bring him back because we need him. It's for his own being.
It's the hardest part about balancing a franchise.
Yeah, because you got to face
The
you gotta-
personnel.
Because the Warriors are not the same team without him.
No.
I didn't think that mattered, but apparently it does.
It gives them an edge.
It does, but this comes back to the business, and you want the Warriors in the playoffs, or at least a play-in. You want them to be relevant. You got the Golden Boy, Steph Curry,
I was
over there,
gonna
who's
say the
still
Golden Boy.
That's Steph. That's Steph. He's he's light skinned. But you got them. So it's a thing. There's a portion of that goes into this situation. They're not the same team without him.
Yeah.
So I think Golden State is going to weigh that. I think the league is going to weigh that.
They're going to lobby it.
Exactly. And I think if he's gearing up to come back now, I think he comes back either right before or right after the All-Star break. I think you give him 2 to 3 weeks to get back into shape, quote unquote shape.
Have a little presser, make him sound sorry.
No,
Whatever.
I don't even think they're going to do that. Well, they'll give him some lines, but
Yeah.
I don't even really think they're going to do that. I think it's just
can't
they're
just-
going to talk about it. Hey, he did what he needed to do.
Yeah. Like somebody on his
And we're
behalf.
ready to accept him back.
Yeah.
It's the coach, Kerr.
So, team welcomes him back. Open arms.
First night throws an elbow.
You got one
Hits
for
Greg.
that?
That was
You got a
actually
little
very
button for that?
generous. I was gonna.
Hits Greg Popovich, like just swings on Pop.
Oh, I got my sounds down.
Wait, one more time.
Do it. Go ahead. Push the button.
Yeah.
I like how you're just like very gentle.
Sorry, I don't want to break it.
This one.
That's like a very expensive machine.
So he comes back. He's a model citizen for a while.
Yeah.
Predictions. Is he suspended again before the playoffs?
My bingo card
During?
says first night.
That's the thing that
God,
that's the
No face.
part that matters.
I'm just saying, man.
In the suspension, does he do something before the playoffs or during the playoffs? If he goes the entire rest of the season without a technical foul, and then he wows out in the playoffs a little bit, I think you let that next one slide because of the level of competition. If he comes back like Carr says, and in the first or second game something snaps, then you have to reassess the situation and say, "Dude, you're not ready to come back."
Let me put something in our heads real quick. Let me go back full circle to the genesis of this whole thing that we have.
Oh, snap.
What if he's quiet quitting?
Ooh.
You know,
Yo,
he wants to go play with LBJ.
What's lined
man.
up?
He wants to go play with LeBron.
He wants to
Not
play in
a
Europe.
bad take.
That's really not. What if he's like trying to get himself kicked out of
Just trying to
Golden
get
State?
he's trying to get his
He's
contract
going
bought
a
out.
very weird way about it. Like, I'm gonna slice this guy up.
Well, you can't get charged for it.
That's true.
Depending on what you do, you can always.
Maybe. You're right.
Depending on what you do, I think.
Quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting. He'd be good in a mosh pit. Like
I'm just trying to figure out
man.
if he's trying to quiet quit, then where's he going?
He's gonna go play with the Lakers, dude, for the vet men.
He ain't winning nothing.
Man,
or
he's
what
good.
he
He
can.
just wants to be. He just wants to be in the same locker room as LeBron, bro. That's so he can just.
Pause.
No problem, dude. I don't know what it is with them.
Hello?
Have you seen them?
Yeah, they're
Have
buddies.
you seen them? They're buddies, bro.
Go to TNT.
Yeah, they're buddies.
Oh, he's ready for that.
How
too.
you gonna kick your buddy in the balls? Pardon my language.
Ooh.
Hey, sometimes them competitive juices just get to flowing. Pause.
What kind of juices you talking about?
Either way, it's a part of the game that's not usually brought out. So, the NBA is usually just kind of meant to have a good, classy, flowy time. This guy kind of muddies it up a little bit, causes controversy. The league as a whole, like with the optics of it, doesn't stand for that kind of stuff. They don't want a rowdy 90s NBA anymore. They
No,
want,
that's very true.
they want the clean cut. They want the smooth. They want the smooth transitions. They want the film that looks great on the commercials.
So the
Which is funny because you'll hear back in the day, they get a glimpse of it. And they're like, oh, you put hands on that guy.
Yeah.
So this is a question to kind of bring up off of that. With Draymond Green, do you think he is strictly just trying to be that type of player that brings that 90s, early 2000s grit? Or do you think it's a deeper issue with him? Do you think there's something off with
As he's
him.
always
Or you
played
think,
like
because
that.
they're,
you think
you
he's
know,
impulsive? Like it's just something in his nature.
they've made him the part of the thing was he was supposed to go get help during this indefinite suspension. So do you think it's just the kind of player I am? It's when it comes to
Competition in sport, like this
is who I am, or is it a deeper issue? Do you think that though we don't see it outside of the game, do you think that is a lifestyle thing that he lives for?
I mean, based on what we don't know about his life, it seems like it was fostered like in his personal kind of game to be that way. So maybe it's just the only way he knows how to play to get his flow.
That's a good point.
You know, like it couldn't. Maybe he's just not like a bad dude at all. Like it's just what he was coached to do, what he got told he was great at. So he's like really leaning into it.
Skin.
Yeah, you just lean into what you're great at, right? And you have somebody that brings you up and tells you like, "This is what you are. You're rowdy. Like you'll be rowdy."
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's. I don't think it's any deeper than that because dude would have been infamous like already if his life was like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Would have been on the John Morant train.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That dude is going to be under a microscope the rest of his career. I'm
Both of them,
sorry.
bro.
But Draymond Green, he doesn't have 20 years left.
Yeah, he
He's
doesn't have
got
3
a
stars.
couple.
Like
He's already done 10, 12 years in this league. He's
got rings. Like
he's got 4 rings coming in. Like
But you
he's
said
done.
for the rest of their career.
John
they
Morant
both
is
will.
going to be under a microscope for, you're talking 15 years.
Oh yeah,
That dude did a celebration. They were playing in New Orleans. And sorry to kind of branch off what we were talking about, but they were playing in New Orleans. There's a dance going on where they do a thing and they put a thing on their shoulder. And the first thing was, oh, he's going back to his old ways. Nah, he was in New Orleans doing the popular dance that's big out of Louisiana right now.
yeah, so the optics look bad because of his past.
Exactly. And that's how it's going to go for the rest of his career. And that dude's 3-4 years into his career compared to Draymond Green. The optics are what you get with that dude, but
Yeah,
in
like
3 years, he's going to be on, like he said, he's going to be on TNT in 3 years.
Dominating.
It's simple and
Talking-
plain, yeah.
talking down on Chuck.
Talking mad stuff.
I can see that.
But
shout out to Draymond Green.
Shout out to Draymond Green. I hope that you can come back and write these Warriors because I am a fan. Bigger Spurs fan, but I do like that franchise and the way that they continue to keep their players. I have respect for that. They remind me of the Spurs in a little bit, except for they pay their the money. But it's California, so I get it. You got to make as much money as you can.
Yeah. I think with Draymond, he comes back. He's on his best behavior through the beginning of the playoffs. And that's assuming they get into the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Because let's face it, Golden State's struggling. Easily. Now, their core is older. Klay Thompson.
Multiple big-time injuries.
Ain't the shooter he used to be. We joked about it a little bit earlier. Chris Paul was getting his butt kicked by Golden State for quite some time.
Yep.
Joins Golden State. And he's losing with them.
Doesn't do any better. Yeah.
Right. So
I think that's a Chris Paul thing, though.
Right. That's how it feels.
Could be.
Chris Paul comes back, Draymond Green comes back. That might, reinvigorate them a little bit for some time. But if I'm honest with you guys, I don't think they're getting out of the first round of the playoffs.
I wouldn't be surprised with that either, honestly.
I just don't think
There's too much time lost and too much flow lost. Like team dynamic.
I just don't think they have the talent.
It's not. I don't think it's really the talent as much as the chemistry. I don't think they have. Ever since they had that 2022 run where they beat Boston, was that 22? Yeah, where they beat Boston. Ever since then, they haven't had just the chemistry that you need to win. Everybody needs to be on the same page. Everybody needs to be all in on winning. I can't remember what game it was, but there was one game, I don't know if it was this season or in the playoffs last year, where Draymond Green literally went from playing the game to immediately being on TNT as an analysis after the analyst, after the game. Like, those are the agendas that you can't have if you're trying to win a championship. It's whatever's on the back burner is on the back burner. But if we're playing a game, if we finish a game, we won, and there's an opponent tomorrow or the night after tomorrow, you're mentality doesn't go to TNT and then the opponent. It goes to the next opponent.
So we're not going to blame coaching on any of this stuff?
Oh, I'm
just saying. I don't know.
Of course.
I was like,
that's the thing.
I blame you for not being their coach.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I only say coaching because, one,
Who told this guy it was okay?
yeah, like, why are we
Offensive coordinator?
Yeah,
Like, who just got in his ear and just told him, like, this is your lane, stick to it?
Yeah, don't worry about hitting threes. Worry about throwing punches.
maybe not bench some key players in certain situations,
like they did last night.
Yeah, in a few games. But I that's just me. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. Just me. I mean, I don't know what the score is now, but if they lose to Detroit, then yeah.
I think they make the play-in. I think they either lose in the play-in or lose in the first round, like he said. But I do think that this is their last run as a core. I don't know if Steve Kerr goes. I don't know if Draymond goes.
Somebody's dissolves
gonna go.
in a way.
Yeah.
Like it starts just
I think it's going to dissolve in a way that the Spurs never did. Just I'm talking a little mess. We dissolved at the late, but though Tim Duncan was 20 years in, it's time to go. It's different.
Okay. So now we've talked the X's and O's of basketball. I want to take all that crap and throw it out of the window. Do you give a guy like that the benefit of the doubt? He's got a history of being the aggressor.
Depends how much you see the external media, like outside of the game.
There is no denial whatsoever the value that he's brought Golden State. People say, it's not that much.
No, yeah, it's a big part of it.
It's more than you think.
He's the glue for that team, man.
Yeah, he's got 4 championships. So he's doing something right. What I want to know from you guys is when he comes back, do you think he makes that much of an impact to get them? Like right now, we're looking at them. Steph has great games. Clay has great games. We're talking about them maybe being a playoff team.
Any way you ask
Hard,
this question,
maybe.
Any
right?
way you ask this question, it's going to be a no for me.
Well, that's very direct.
Sorry.
I mean, you got to look at the facts, man. They're 16 and 18 at the time that we record this, or under 500.
It's January.
It is January. I'm not going to write off a team with championship DNA. It's just the basketball in me. I can't do it until there's no chance. When you have a team that's won 4 chips,
there's always a chance.
Yeah, exactly. It's the core of their team. They can figure it out. They know how to win.
Yeah, it's just a matter of
it's about
every party's
can
agreeable.
they figure it out as a team, because there's 3-4 people there, not including the coach. Looney, there are people there that know how to win. So you bring them all back in together
to work together.
They can make a run. I don't think, again, we said it a little earlier, I don't think they really make it out of the first round. If they do make it out of the first round, I think it's a second round exit that's a little ugly like they had last year. NBA is all about matchups.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just look at the draw kind of.
It's all about matchups.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's any sport.
You're absolutely true.
Because anyone can beat anyone.
Any given Sunday. Let's go,
Yeah.
Jamie.
Or Tuesday.
Or for that matter, Thursday. Okay. No, I just wanted to know you guys' thoughts on that, because obviously Draymond has become a polarizing figure, but I really want to just take the X's and O's out of it and just think about what he brings to the table, and then what us as fans of the game think about him as an individual, what he means to the culture of basketball. Because I'll tell you, I don't know if any of you have watched this podcast. He's done a decent job. Like
It's got a good insight of the game.
he does. It's not the best one.
No.
And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to be a hater. It's just that's a fair assessment. I mean, JJ Redick is better. Gilbert Arenas is a little bit better. A little bit. Well, Gilbert's is more entertaining.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I give you that.
Draymond is coming from a person who's currently playing perspective.
Yeah, it takes a different avenue when you do it like that. Can't say everything you would say because you're still playing.